This is a Russian map detailing a battle in the Russo-Japanese War. This battle was the first confrontation between the advancing Imperial Japanese Army and the military of the Russian Empire, known in Korea as the Amnok Hwechon, and in the West as the Battle of the Yalu River. If you look down here, you can see a village marked Sinuiju. This small village was the site of what would eventually be a failed Russian operation to halt the Japanese advance through Korea and to prevent them from taking any territory in Manchuria. They failed, and the Japanese expansion through Asia continued. 6 years later, the Japanese would formally annex Korea, making it a colony of the ever-expanding Japanese Empire. And, along with a series of sweeping changes meant to bring the Koreans under the Japanese yoke, they introduced new reforms to local government, separating the small village by the river into its own designated district. They named it Sinuiju. Sinuiju literally means New Sinuiju and was established under the Japanese occupation to handle the increased border trade between Japanese-controlled Korea and Japanese-controlled Manchuria to the north. And, in 1914, the rapidly developing Sinuiju-dong, or Sinuiju Town District, was separated off from the rest of Sinuiju County and renamed Sinuiju-bu. The trade that Sinuiju fostered was important. As the war with China continued to grow, Korea was a vital supply route for weapons, ammunition, and troops moving from secure Japanese territory towards the front line. In addition, the Japanese Empire leveraged numerous cities across Korea, turning them into hubs for heavy industry, both to support the war effort and to supply newly captured territory across Asia. Under the occupation, Sinuiju grew into one of these industrial cities, becoming home to many factories and machine complexes. If we look at this map from the time of Japanese control, we can see how important Sinuiju had become. The significance of this red area here becomes more obvious when we switch to this map, which shows it was the site of the city's railway yard, transportation office, and even a cross-border ferry port. Goods from across the colony and products produced in Sinuiju, notably the city had a major forestry industry, were shipped across the border to the comparatively large rail yard in Antung, modern-day Dandong, and then onwards into the empire. This would continue to the end of the war and the collapse of Japan's imperialist ambitions. As part of nationwide reforms under the new socialist provisional government, the country shifted gears towards establishing a new republic and differentiating itself from the years of cruel subjugation and exploitation at the hands of the Japanese. Part of this nationwide campaign involved restructuring the administrative state. And so, in 1946, Sinuiju became Sinuiju-shi, or Sinuiju City, becoming one of the 3 cities and 22 counties in North Pyongan province, and also serving as the provincial capital and administrative centre. This was a sign that Sinuiju wasn't just important under Japanese rule, but its location on the Chinese border guaranteed its significance going forward. But quickly, why is this one city so important? Well, this is the Sino-Korean border, running along the Amnok River from Sinuiju, here in the west, up to the source of the river, Paektusan, or Mount Paektu. From here, the border follows the Tumen River, all the way out to the East Sea near the city of Najin. Along this entire border, there are only a handful of crossing points, and even fewer designed to accommodate heavy traffic. The majority of this region is dominated by mountains, and so infrastructure is limited to those areas where roads and railway lines can be easily constructed and linked into the national network. Sinuiju sits on the west coast of the country in one of its few low-lying areas, and is therefore perfectly located for railway and road access between the border and the capital, from where goods can be shipped out across the country. This location means the region has long held strategic importance, especially during times of war. During the Korean conflict in the 1950s, Sinuiju was a major entry point for troops of the Chinese People's Volunteer Armed Forces, joining the fight alongside the Korean People's Army against the US military. As a result of this, and the city's industrial capacity, it was targeted mercilessly as part of the US Air Force's indiscriminate bombing campaign, resulting in the flattening of 50% of the city. One of the two river bridges which connected Sinuiju to Dandong was partially destroyed, later becoming a tourist attraction in Dandong, known colloquially as the Yalu River Broken Bridge. Since the end of the conflict, Sinuiju has been rebuilt and continues to serve as the major artery for Sino-Korean trade, as well as being the main overland route between the DPRK and China. The surviving bridge, which accommodates rail and road traffic, was renamed the Sino-Korean Friendship Bridge in 1990. Today, the city is home to various factories, producing everything from machine parts to cosmetics. And the city has seen some rejuvenation in recent years, as part of the nationwide strategy to construct new factories, apartment buildings, and other public facilities in order to raise the standard of living and revitalise communities, both inside and outside the capital. But Sinuiju wouldn't have much use were it not firmly plugged in to the nation's transportation network. The primary route for goods and people in and out of the city is by rail. The city is home to two railway stations, Nam Sinuiju and Sinuiju Chongnyeon, the latter of which serves as the terminus for the Pyeonggi line, running from the Chinese border to the capital, Pyongyang. It also serves as an international railway terminal for trains crossing the Sino-Korean Friendship Bridge, and so includes customs facilities for passengers crossing in and out of the country, and also connects to the Kangan line, which is a goods line linking many of the factories in the city with customs offices, the Sinuiju goods port, coal yard, and access to domestic and international cargo routes. In addition to the railway network, there is a trolleybus line running through Sinuiju between the railway station and the city centre, which was reopened in October 2020, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, as can be seen in this October report on Korean Central Television.
신의주시 료객 자동차 사업소 청년농맹원들이 80일 전투에 손뒤에서 내달릴 왕성한 이력심을 안고 힘찬 투쟁을 벌여서 시안의 료객 운수 부문에 이바지할 수 있는 무궤도 전차를 제작 완성했습니다.
So, what's happened to Sinuiju in recent years? Well, there have been plans to redevelop the city in line with other recent projects, such as the redevelopment of Sanjeon in 2019 and 2020. The so-named Sinuiju International Economic Region was initially planned to increase productivity in international trade, notably with China, alongside whom an enormous new river bridge was constructed, completed in 2021, named the Rio Amnok Dari, or the Korea-China Amnok River Bridge. These developments, along with the regular inauguration of new factories and facilities in the city, signal that post-COVID, Sinuiju may once again be playing an important role for the DPRK as the gatehouse of the Republic, shipping goods back and forth and engaging in the development of new industries alongside their Chinese neighbours. And the original town of Sinuiju? It still exists, a few kilometres north of Sinuiju city. Today, a sleepy riverside village on the banks of the Amnok River, just as it was at the turn of the last century.